What was I doing again?
Hello everyone, it's Mel, and welcome back, after honestly a long time, to Baldur's Gate. It has literally been like 2 months since I last recorded. It's currently April 6th, is what I'm saying. And we are going to merrily ignore the fact that the world has gone somewhere in a handbasket. And we're just going to enjoy ourselves.
I've got this.
Now, I only vaguely remember what I was about to do. But I think it involved going to see not the Iron Hammers. That's not the right answer.
You got it.
Let's check my journal. Yes. Patrine's cat. Right. I guess we're going to go check out the Iron Throne. If I can remember where that is. And if you think I can remember where it is, you have a far higher estimation of my sense of direction than I do. I think it's actually over here. Flaming Fist Barracks are maybe over here? No, that's the Hall of Wonders.
Don't worry about me.
How about here? Alright, we're gonna have a quick chit-chat with Scar, and then we're gonna go check out the Iron Throne. Because, I mean, it's probably about time I did this whole plotline nonsense, right? I still have no idea who TX is.
I am a man of my word.
Hello, Rel. I have another job for you. This one involves a group you've dealt with in the past, the Iron Throne. Duke Elton himself wishes to speak with you about this. Will you come with me? Of course we'll come. Just follow me. I'll take you to the Flaming Fist compound. The Grand Duke is waiting for us. Well, okay then.
I am a man of my word.
Let me introduce you to Grand Duke Elton, one of the lords of the city, commander of the Flaming Fist, and a member of the Lord's Alliance. I am glad to see that you have come. I know that such a meeting is unusual, but in these circumstances it is necessary. I would first ask what involvement you have had with the merchant society known as the Iron Throne. Well, we've learned that they're involved in a plot that threatens the stability of your city. From what I have been told, you've been quite a thorn in the side of the Iron Throne. I'm interested in you because of the obvious hatred that they hold for you. Their recent activities have been brought to my attention, and I am very dubious about the intent of the throne. I think it is far too easy to blame the recent caravan raids and iron shortage on the Zentarim. Though the evidence does point to them, they do not have much to profit, while the Iron Throne has everything to gain. I have much to concern me right now, especially with tension rising between our city and the nation of Am. Unfortunately, my hands are tied. I can't act against the Iron Throne until I have hard evidence of their wrongdoing. That's, of course, where you come in. I need a small group of spies to break into the Iron Throne headquarters and see if they can find proof of the throne's involvement with the caravan raids. If you will do this for me, you will be paid extremely well. 2,000 gold to divide among yourselves. What is your answer? We'd be honored. You have made a wise decision. It is a difficult mission that I give you, but I am sure that you have the wherewithal to make it through. Return and report to me once you feel you have enough information to use against the Iron Throne. We'll be back.
I've got this.
So we're What's your business here? We want a tour. We don't give no tour. We give no tours here. Could you please? I'm on my way out.
Over here.
Once I find the way out, that is. Your commander dude, what the heck ever, literally invited us inside. So, jump up your own butt and shut up. Iron Throne head. Oh yeah, I also wanted to check out the Merchants League, didn't I?
Got it.
The bustle of the city makes me feel insignificant.
Zan, you feel insignificant no matter what. But yeah, that door is locked. That's fine. We're gonna go to the Iron Throne, I think. Which is... Right, the Iron Throne is, I believe, in the Nobles' Quarter. I think. So that would be up in this corner, I think. Tavern and Inn. House, helm and cloak. Quinn's house. Nope.
Don't worry about
Wrong
me.
way.
The city makes me feel insignificant.
How about over here? I am literally playing the game of try random parts of the city until I
I've
find
got
where
this.
I'm going. That one didn't work. That one maybe? No.
I've got this.
How about you? I don't know why my M key is being such a brat.
I've got this.
Okay. Actually, I wonder, can I get into the counting house? Because Mel has an attention span of several seconds. Is the Iron Throne here, maybe? Iron Throne headquarters.
Don't worry about me.
What is the worst that could happen?
No time to chit-chat.
Out! Away! Fly while you can! There be madness here, and I can stand it no longer. Calm down and explain yourself, good sir, that I may understand you better. Calm down! Calm down while Sephiroth's acolytes practice their magic cacophony above me! I dare say not, stranger. I dare say not at all. What?
I've got this.
All my stuff is authentic. Really, it is.
What is your business here? If you're here about obtaining iron shipments for your company, then you'd be best to do so elsewhere. We have no interest in dealing with other companies.
All my stuff is all
Same thing. That's a guard. Welcome to the Iron Throne Citadel. Could you please state what business brings you here? Oh. We're seeking employment with the Iron Throne. If you could just direct us to someone with whom we could speak, we will be on our way. We don't need any new employees. Now get lost. Mother of... Really? So you're just gonna stab me because I'm like, oh, I want to... You're looking for employees? Like, oh yeah, time to stab. Freaking really? Yeah, how'd that go, bro? Oh wait, I exploded you. That's how that went. Idiot. There's a way down and a way up. We're gonna start by going up.
I should have joined the army.
Where do you think you're going? Upstairs. Where do you think you're going? Somewhere far away from wisecrackers like yourself, I hope. Guards, up the stairs! We have intruders. Really? Freaking really? Yeah, how'd that go? You know, you should really think twice about trying to stab me. Because the last 5 people who tried to stab me all died painfully. Oh wow, there's a whole bunch more guards. Fair enough. Well, you're all looking a little dead now. But my thought is, we go up first because there's...
I should have joined the army.
You there! What are you doing here? I don't recognize you. Calm down, we're just new recruits. We haven't got our uniforms yet. Of course. You know, I really need a higher charisma score because lying really isn't working for me.
You want it? You got
Though
it.
I suppose
Don't give me any lip, peasant. Do you know who I am?
And get this might be with us.
Don't give me any lip, peasant. Do you know who I am?
At last, someone who looks like they could be of some assistance. The assorted boobs and dimwits around here have been of very little help. Have you ever been so tempted to choose a wrong answer? Of course. Well, not a wrong answer, but I'm so tempted, but this isn't what Rel would say. Of course. How may I assist you, ma'am? Ma'am this, ma'am that. I have little desire to suffer through more of your flat geniality. You may call me Emissary Tar and direct me towards the nearest staircase. I have some important business to conduct on the 5th floor on behalf of the Grand Dukes. The stairs? Yes, they lie behind me, not far from where we stand at all. Why do I have a feeling she's going to explode or something? Also, I should eventually identify that necklace.
I've got
okay,
this.
we have a bar.
You want some whiskey?
Oh yeah, we're new recruits. We haven't been assigned yet. Oh, I see. Well, if you're wondering where you'll be assigned, I bet it would be with the Blackhounds down in the Wood of Sharp Teeth. They lost quite a few members lately and are in desperate need of new recruits. Yeah, I kind of know something about that.
What you want?
Hello, you must be the city negotiators. Let me see on the list here. Emissary Tar? Right on time and a pleasure to meet you. My name is Destis Gurn, Assistant Chief Accountant for the Iron Throne's operations on the Sword Coast. Now, just a quick briefing on our negotiating procedures before you head up the stairs. Baldur will be accompanied by a board of 6 Iron Throne advisors sent to us from abroad. Baldur will be accompanied by a Zalamir Cloudwolf, Gardush, Naman, Diab, Asim, and Li, all of them quite respectable men and eager to meet you. We also have a 7th member on the board today, a Mr. Lyle Espejo. He is there to ensure that things go smoothly in this time of transition. As for the agenda... Yes? On the agenda, as you well know, is our discussion of our current offer regarding iron prices and some notes regarding the output of the new mines we have acquired. Preceding all that, however, Mr. Espejo would like to have a few words with you about the positive change in dynamism, economic and otherwise, that he has been witness to in his recent travels through the Sword Coast region. I do not doubt that you will find it interesting, but I've taken enough of your time. Please proceed upstairs so that the negotiations may begin. Could he have said more buzzwords? There are a lot of books in here. Like, holy cow, there's a lot of books. Well, let's get reading. I've read that one. Actually, I think I've... You know what? Nope. The past 100 years have been an example of the best and worst of the Lords of Shadowdale. All have been non-native to the Dale lands, though all made the land their home. A century ago, the Lord of the Dales was one Jodath, a stiff-necked agnostic who denied the power of any god, good or evil, and used force to back up his beliefs. During this time, there was a great deal of religious persecution, including a massacre of Tyrus on Watcher's Knoll. Jodath was eventually killed by a beast of the Netherplane, summoned by parties unknown, which then proceeded to rampage through the Dale. The beast was killed and Shadowdale rescued by spellcasters Omri and Silune. Omri was proclaimed Lord by acclamation. The longest period of peaceful rule was by Lord Omri and his wife Silune, better known as the Witch of Shadowdale. They ruled over the community for 40 years, a period of extended peace with their neighboring dales, nations, and elven peoples. It was this very peace and power which made the Dale the target for attacks and sabotage by the Black Network, the Zentarim. They sought, and still seek, to control the trade from the Moon Sea to the Sword Coast, and desired to make Shadowdale a vassal state of Zental Keep. Lord Omri's rule ended tragically when he was assassinated by Zentis agents. It is of note that during the time that Douse Solwood of the Knights of Myth Dranor assumed the role of Lord of Shadowdale, Elminster took up residence in the area. A semi-regular visitor up to that time, he took possession of a low, abandoned tower at the foot of the Old Skull and declared himself to be officially in retirement. The nature of that retirement varies from active involvement in local affairs to long-term vacations on other planes. The natives of the Dale have come to the understanding that they cannot always count on the powerful mage being in residence in times of need or danger. But when he is present in these circumstances, his aid is usually given. Douse Solwood, recommended to the position by Kelvin Blackstaff, ruled Shadowdale as Lord for 5 years. Seems like a millennium, he was oft known to have reported, and the tedium of court life and the lure of adventure eventually caused him to retire his position and rejoin the Knights of Mithranor in regular adventuring. He handed the pendant of a Shaba, symbol of the lordship, onto one of the younger knights, a Waterdavian noble named Morngrim and Cathra. Morngrim had been dispatched by Kelvin from Waterdeep for other purposes, but Doust liked both the young man's straightforward honesty and his willingness to shoulder the burden of protecting the small community from myriad dangers. Time has proven this choice a wise one. The implications of Kelvin Blackstaff Aronson choosing the last two lords of Shadowdale, Doust Solwood and Morngrim Amcathra, were not lost on the Dale's powerful neighbor to the north, Cormyr. An agent was sent northward to divine Morngrim's true intentions and to guarantee the Dale's continued good relationship with the throne of the Purple Dragon. This agent was a rogue named Cheryl Rowen, sent by Vanguardast, though all paperwork on this matter has been curiously incinerated in Suzale, so all is hearsay and tale. Cheryl discovered more than she intended and fell in love with young Morngrim. The two married and became the Lord and Lady of Shadowdale. Cheryl's loyalty is now to her husband and to the land they co-rule. This was probably not the intention of the Cormyrans. Yeah.
I love money. Yes, I do.
Okay. Since being recommended to the position by outgoing Lord Dos Solwood, Lord Morngrim Amcathra's rule of Shadowdale has been less peaceful than he had hoped. The first Battle of Shadowdale occurred in the Year of the Prince, 1357 DR, and involved Daneland forces routing those of Lyran the Pretender. Lyran has made repeated attempts to gain the lordship, as was intended by the former Zentish puppet, Lord Jordan. While significant, this battle pales when compared to the larger battle fought in the same site between Bane-led Zental Keep forces and the Dales during the Time of Troubles. 1358 DR, 0 PR. When the Battle of Shadowdale is referred to without a number, it usually means the second battle. In addition, Morngrim has had to deal with a large number of skirmishes, incursions, and possible invasion from below, explosions, and other sundry disasters. Morngrim and Cheryl have one child, Scotty, who is now 9 winters old. By the customs of the area, he is not considered the heir apparent, and another suitable warrior or mage may take the reins of power of the small community. Most feel that Morngrim will hold the pendant until his son has reached his maturity, then abdicate in young Scotty's favor once he takes his grown name. If this happens, it will be the first occasion of the lordship of Shadowdale passing down through a family. For the past 1500 years, Tethir had a single strong royal family ruling with absolute power. When a king died or became incapacitated, his oldest son took the throne. As the family trees of those close to power became more intertwined and complicated, there were the inevitable wars of succession and bickering over which second cousin was the true heir to the throne. Civil wars were brief, however, and once the fighting was over, the system returned to normal until the next major dispute in a few hundred years or so. The established reoccurring cycle was broken in 10 years ago. The current ruling family has been in power for over 350 years, so long that they had dropped their own family name centuries ago. No one even remembers it now, and simply called themselves Tethir. King Alamander IV was comfortably ruling from Castle Tethir, and the country seemed happy enough. But there was a broad current of dissatisfaction among the people of Tethir. Non-humans were forbidden by law to own land, and since most rights and privileges according to citizens were based on land ownership, they became second-class citizens as well. Things were especially bad for elves, who were driven deep into the forest of Tethir by royal armies. Alamander IV took land away from its rightful owners and gave it to nobles who promised larger contributions to the royal treasury. Those social and economic iniquities, coupled with several harsh winters and bad harvests in a row, made the time ripe for a change. It takes more than just a couple of lousy winters to depose a king, however. It takes treachery as well. In the case of the Hall of House Tethir, it took an ambitious general and an impatient royal heir. Prince Alamander grew tired of waiting for the robust Alamander IV to make room for him, so he struck a deal with General Nashram Sharbanath, commander of the king's largest army. While Sharbanath marched his army towards Tethir, bringing along a sizable group of angry peasants recruited with the promise of land reform, the would-be Alamander V downplayed alarming reports from the king's spies and advisors, silencing the most persistent permanently through murder or exile. By the time Sharbanath's army arrived and laid siege to Castle Tethir, it was too late for loyalists to help. As Sharbanath launched direct assault on the castle using the expendable peasants as shock troops, a handful of elite soldiers let in a secret entrance by the prince would eliminate key guards and open the gates. At the same time, the prince, one of the few people allowed to see the king directly, would murder his father. A fire set by the elite troops would destroy evidence of treachery, the general and the prince would emerge from the conflagration, and announce a new joint government. The plan was executed perfectly, but only up to a point. Sharbanath double-crossed the prince. His men were too efficient in setting the castle ablaze, and Prince Alamander, along with most of his fellow conspirators, died horribly in the fire. At about the same time, a spy planted on the general's inner staff by the equally duplicitous Alamander murdered the general and dissolved his body with a powerful acid before anyone could come to his aid. To make matters worse, everyone had underestimated the resentment the people felt for the royal family. Once Castle Tethir began to fall, there was no holding back the mob. In one night, the proudest, strongest castle in all the country was reduced to a smoking ruin. Everything of value, fine tapestries, plates, and silverware, furniture, jewelry, weapons, clothes, armor, paintings, statues, and so on was either stolen, burned, or just ripped apart and stomped into the dust. As news of the fall of the royal family spread, so did the chaos. In what is now known as the 10 Black Days of Elton, anyone known or even suspected of blood connection to the royal family was put to the sword. This led to some darkly humorous moments, as social climbers who had bragged just a week before of being a sixth cousin twice removed of the royal aunt tried in vain to convince the angry mob that they were only kidding. The nobles who were the biggest supporters of the royal family also came under attack, and some baronial keeps fell. Local leaders who had adequately distanced themselves from the Tethir family or were popular enough or feared/strong enough survived. These surviving nobles became the initial fighters in the fight to decide the fate of Tethir. One thing was certain, any leader or type of government that too closely resembled rule under Tethir's would not be accepted. Royalist became a dirty word in Tethir society. The power struggle continues to this day, and there is no sign of it ending anytime soon. Well then. One of the great and mysterious sites in the Moonsea area, the Bell in the Depths, is connected with the legendary Northkeep, an island kingdom that was the first great citadel of humankind in these cold lands. Northkeep was a great and magical city, and it was under the protection of these magics that humanity first began to press back the orc hordes and take command of the sea. The power of Northkeep made it an obvious target for orcs, giants, and other evil races. However, these creatures were not inclined towards sea actions, and Northkeep seemed safe until the day when, according to legend, 40,000 inhuman mages, shamans, witch doctors, and priests of all foul races gathered on the northern shore of the Moonsea and began to chant, bringing the vengeance of their gods down upon the human interlopers. The gods, at least some of them, came and destroyed the priests for disturbing them, but also sank Northkeep with it beneath the waves. The upper reaches of Northkeep, its slender, now broken spires, can be seen beneath the water by boats that sail nearby. This is not attempted often, however, as the region is said to be haunted by the original defenders of Northkeep, seeking company in their watch over the cold lands. On fog-ridden nights, the bells of the tallest towers, despite being submerged, can be heard as far away as hills far. Oh, well, those are yoinkable.
I've done had enough of this.
Okay, your
We're
inventory's
all
full.
doomed. If you want
What do you need? I've got this.
life, whatever.
Your inventory's full.
I'll do it.
Our quest, if you want.
Tell me. I've got this.
What is it this time?
Okay,
Stand back
Nira, you
and
try.
watch this.
Okay, who has the scroll case? You have the scroll case. Fantastic.
Give it to me straight. I've
Okay.
got this.
Read that one. The founding of the Dalelands long preceded the creation of any of the existing Dales by hundreds of years, and the year numbering system known as Dale Reckoning is actually a commemoration of humankind. That's what that is! Dale Reckoning! That's DR! Of humankind being given permission to settle in the lands of the north and west of the Inner Sea. Most of the current Dales are relative newcomers, the older having been abandoned, destroyed, or overrun long ago. In those ancient days, when Suzail and Chondathan, now called Serloon, were mere coastal trading posts, the elves who ruled this forest entertained a request from settlers from the east, refugees and farmers from far-off Impeltur and Damara. This request was to farm and settle the borders of the great forest Cormanthor, in particular the rich delves and dales along the rivers Arkan and Nashaba. These newcomers did not wish to lumber or clear the inhabited forest, but only to settle on the rich territories on its edges, and unlike some other settlers, early Sembia comes to mind, were willing to ask permission. The lords of the Elven Court granted that request in return for aid from these new Dalelanders against outside aggression, both monstrous, orcs and goblins from the lands of Thar, and humans, the rising powers in Cormyr and Sembia. In commemoration of this pact, humans and elves raised the standing stone that is now seen where the Moonsea Ride reaches Rothovir's Road, the road from Asambra to Hillsfar. It is from the date of the raising of this stone that Dale Reckoning is counted. According to the pact made, the Dalesmen would only settle the regions that were unforested or unclaimed by the elves. As the elven woods receded under the axis of further invaders and settlers, the old dales perished and new ones came into being along the borders of the woods. People, both good and bad, have raised petty nations in the Dalelands since, though any one dale that turned against the pact would have to deal with the others. Each of the dales is a large swath of farms and fields, with few scattered settlements and usually one central marketplace, capital, or dale center. These centers are often, but not always, named after the dales they are in, adding to the confusion as to what is a Daleland's territory. The dales are not city-states, for their largest groupings of population rate as towns at best, and they lack the defensive walls common throughout the heartlands. They are neither true nations in the fashion of Cormyr or Sembia, and occupy a grey middle ground within they are nothing more or less than dales. Each dale has slightly different laws, customs, and military organizations. Many rely on the work of charismatic heroes and adventuring companies for aid in times of trouble, and a large number of these individuals use the region as a base. This attraction for adventurers is further increased by a large number of elven and pre-elven ruins in the area, and the departure of the Elven Court for Evermeet, leaving the woods open for exploration and exploitation. The history of the Dales is filled with battles and attacks on its various members. In the Year of the Worm, 1364 Dale Reckoning, Scardale, under the command of Lashan Amerster, launched a number of swift attacks, conquering a number of the surrounding dales. A coalition of forces from the others, as well as Sembia, Cormyr, and Zental Keep, crushed the invaders and occupied Scardale. During the time of troubles in 1358 DR, Shadowdale was attacked by Zental Keep. More recently, the Dalelands have committed forces to a unified army under King Azun IV of Cormyr to turn back the Tuijan invasion. The adaptable humans made use of the magic they could seize or learn from the proud peoples to defeat all enemies, breaking, for a time, the power of giants and orcs. Waterdeep was founded. The last of the pure-blood elves died out as a result of continued marriages with humans. In the far west, men also dwelled, wise, clever primitives called the Ice Hunters. They lived simple lives on the coast since time beyond reckoning, countless generations before Netheril's first founders set foot on the narrow sea's western shore. Yet this peaceful folk fell prey to another invasion from the south, crude longships that carried a tall, fair-haired, warlike race who displaced the ice hunters from their ancestral lands. This race, known as the Northmen, spread farms and villages along the coast from the banks of the winding water to the gorges of the Mirar. Northmen warriors drove the simple ice hunters further and further north, forced the Goblinkin back into their mountain haunts, and instigated the last council of Ilfarn. Within 500 years of the Northmen's arrival, Ilfarn was no more. Its residents had migrated to Evermeet. From the coast, Northmen sailed westward, claiming and establishing colonies on the major western islands of Rothim and Gunderland, eventually spreading to all the islands in the Northern Sea. Others migrated northward and past the spine of the world, and became the truly savage barbarians of Icewind Dale. In the centuries that follow, Askelhorn became Hellgate Keep when it fell into the hands of fiends, and Erlen collapsed under the attack of a new orc horde. The elves fled southeast, joining with Northmen, Netherese descendants, and dwarves to form what would later be known as the Fallen Kingdom. This realm was short-lived and collapsed under the next orcish invasion, though in dying it dealt the goblin races a blow from which they have yet to recover. Nice. Okay, let's look at inventories, because I am stuffed. I should have. Oh, boy. Rasad, you have a bunch of scrolls you can pass over. I really should have emptied my inventory. Oh, well. I never claimed to be a smart Mel. I mean, come on, what's the worst that can happen here? Okay.
You rang? Stand back and watch this.
Okay, Rel,
What do you need? You want it? You've got it.
Uh-huh. I'll do it.
You can grab those.
Your wish? Selune guides my hand.
What is it this time? I'll do it.
And
I am prepared.
Rasad.
I understand.
You can grab that last one.
Tell me.
Okay.
Don't worry about me.
This is gonna go well. Fear my wrath, for it is great indeed. Who dares intrude upon our negotiations? I'm not gonna lie, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions. Rel, you say? Ah yes, Savarok warned us you might try to meddle. That meddling will stop here, however. And who are you to say so? I've crushed all those before you. Those before us were fools, as you are. Those before us were weak, as you are. Those before us were not Zalamir or Gardush or Naman or Diab or Asim or Asim or Alai. Those before us are dead, as you will be. So has been decreed, so it shall be done. So orders Savarok. That's a doppelganger!
Give it to me straight.
Well... crap. Okay, do we have a haste? We don't have any haste! Crap!
You rang?
What do you need?
Go, go, go!
Tell me.
You know what? No. Everyone... Okay. Know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna back out, get my crap identified, and next time we're gonna take these guys on, because that hurt a little bit. Hopefully I'll get, another episode recording in sometime that isn't 2 months from now. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys then, alright?